Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, this is the night of the super blood moon, the super blood wolf moon over Washington. And it couldn't come at a more ominous sign that these end days certainly are revealing the hearts of man. We're seeing a gridlock of a biblical proportion, and we wonder if there can ever be something figured out or settled on between the disagreement going on between the political parties of America. But that's just simply one thing. The world is filled with chaos and confusion and tragedies. Now, I've got some good news report. That 6.7 earthquake that hit in Chile, nobody was injured. A few things got knocked off the walls. A few buildings were shaking. This was a powerful quake, 6.7. But hey, Chile is doing such a better job in building buildings over the last 20 to 25 years that they're able to handle a lot more, unless they have another 8.8 like they had in 2010. But we do have a tragedy in Mexico. Horrific scene. According to authorities, 73 people are now confirmed dead. Dozens are injured, burned, and just horrific injuries. And there are still charred remains in the aftermath of this, still unidentified, is still there by the pipelines. Matter of fact, Mexican authorities now say that 73 people are dead. This happened, of course, Friday night. It is believed that the explosion occurred after the pipeline was ruptured by suspected fuel thieves in the right there along the pipeline. Matter of fact, officials say scores of people have been scrambling to fill up containers and were engulfed in the inferno. Dozens of charred bodies remain at the scene, which is cordoned off now by security forces. The 74 people are hospitalized, 73 are dead, and many more, their remains are charred and are laying there in the adjacent to the pipeline. Locals of the president say the president has put in a new policy to crack down on the fuel that had created these shortages. Everyone came to see if they could get a bit of gasoline for the car, and the farmers, a farmer by the name of Isaiah Garcia, told Reuters there isn't any input in the gas stations. So people were coming down there, and they vandalized the pipes. Gas is pouring out. Everybody's got containers because the gas stations are out of gas. It's just, this is the way of life in Mexico. It gets very, very difficult. Distraught relatives have continued to gather at the site of the explosion. Forensic experts have been photographing remains amid the backdrop of the burned clothing and discarded fuel buckets. Even Mexico's state-owned petroleum company, Pemex, said that the fire had been caused by illegal tapping. It is believed thieves drilled through the pipeline. Images before the explosion show a large jet of liquid rising into the air. Some officials criticized security forces at the scene for not warning people more forcibly to get away from the leaking fuel. At some point, there was too many people there. The Army and the military personnel withdrew to avoid problems. That was shortly before the blast occurred. President Lopez Obrador defended the Army against the criticism, saying they were right not to confront such a large crowd. He also avoided criticizing the people, saying if they had to resort to extremes by stealing fuel, it's because they were abandoned. The few liters of fuel were worth more than the daily minimum wage in Mexico. Fuel theft, known locally there as moonshining, is rampant in some Mexican communities. The government has said the practice cost the country $3 billion just in last year. And The president said he took office in December, has launched a major crackdown. Thousands of Marines have been deployed to guard the pipeline, some of which have been shut down altogether in the places. And the policy has led to the increased reliance on tanker deliveries, and there have been widespread reports of long lines at the gas stations. So again, it's a very, very, very terrible thing. Now, back in Mexico City in 2013, there had been another gas at a pipeline. 26 had died. And another one, 37 had died, 2012, 2013, these two different events. But now we have 73 dead, 74 in the hospital, and dozens of charred bodies along the pipeline from the explosion. A terrible, terrible scene. So pray for the families of all these victims, and also pray for the people that have been burned severely in the hospitals, and also pray for the families who are still trying to find their loved ones in the charred remains of this aftermath of this horrific scene. Apocalyptic, if you will, because that's about what it looked like to the locals. Awful. I'll be back. Pray for them all, please, please. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. And don't forget, tonight is the night of the super blood wolf moon. We'll be live tonight with a super blood moon broadcast starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on the coming apocalypse. You come see me tonight right here at this YouTube channel or on any of the other social media locations we'll be live on, including my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.